When I was a kid, I hated sharps and flats, and I tried my best to avoid them at all costs. All that added ink on the page was so confusing, and I didn't want to take the time to actually learn how to do it, and I made the assumption that any piece with sharps and flats was automatically too difficult for me. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. With just a few minutes of smart prep, you'll see that they're really not that difficult, and I'll prove that to you when we learn an arrangement of Slavonic March by Tchaikovsky. But first, be sure that you've watched Core Lesson 8, or you already feel comfortable with sharps and flats. For this piece that we'll learn, the most advanced musical concepts you'll need to know are sharps, flats, eighth notes, and staccato notes. Before we think about the mood and the emotion of the piece, aka the fun part, we need to get technical. I'll make notes in my score, and you should do the same. You'll learn so much more if you do it with me rather than just watch. And I'm telling you that from personal learning experience. I'll think I'm understanding something as I passively watch or listen to somebody, but in reality, it's not sinking in because I'm not doing. Now, when you glance at the score, it might look intimidating. So let's break it down. Right hand. You can see that the first line is the same 2 notes over and over. The bottom note is middle C, and the top is an E flat. Remember, a flat lowers the note by a half step, just like a flat tire makes a car go down. Regular E is here, so E flat is here. In the second line, the right hand stays within a 5-finger position. Top note G, bottom, middle C. Look at these accidentals. We've seen this one before, E flat. What about this one? It's F sharp, and sharps raise the note by a half step because if you sat on a sharp needle, you jump up. Those are the only 2 accidentals we need to play in the right hand. Look at the left hand accidentals. Without the sharp, it's a bass F. With the sharp, it's here. Then we have an E, but it's a flat, so it's here. Now, quickly scan the first line bass clef and find the lowest and highest note. This G is the highest, and this C is the lowest. Now, picture the piano keys, and you'll see that in the first line, the left hand stays within a 5-finger position. Find all the accidentals. Now, find all the accidentals in the second line. Are there any new ones? Nope, just F sharp and E flat again. Just like before, scan the notes in the second line to find the highest and the lowest note. So the G is the highest again, and this is the lowest, way down here. Now, thankfully, the arranger helps us by letting us know it's a low C. We're just getting an overall feel for the piece right now. So let's remember that somewhere around here, we'll have a major hand position change so that we can reach this low note. And look at this melodic idea. It repeats often, so it's helpful to circle it or make some note about it. Other helpful things to notice before we move to the piano is this risoluto, which means firm and determined, and the dynamics begin mezzo piano, then move to forte. Also notice there are no slurs and or phrase markings, so we'll have to decide how to phrase this musically. Then we have staccato notes in the last measure, and we're in 4/4 time. Okay, so that was a good overview analysis of the score. Now, it might not seem like we learned a ton, but now that we've done that, when we go to learn it, it won't feel like we're beginning from scratch. The final thing I suggest doing before getting your fingers on the keys is to listen to a recording of the original version. Listen to at least the first minute and 30 seconds. Our 8-bar arrangement is just a fraction of the entire piece, but you'll get the overall vibe from listening to the full piece. So it's pretty similar to normal C position. It's risoluto, so don't play these quarter notes too short because they need a seriousness and a weight. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. The theme should be legato, so add a slur going to the staccato note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, compare both hands in the first line. Which one has the melody? It's the left hand. Again, there aren't any slurs marked, so let's add them. I want to make this a 4-bar phrase, and it'll all be legato. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There's another 4-bar phrase in the second line, but the phrase ends on the first beat. The final 2 beats are like a dramatic tag, not really part of the phrase. Phrase ends here, and now this is a tag. Notice when I moved my left hand. The lift happened right after the C, and I moved not just up, but up and over. So jump off the C, up and over to that lower position. It's tempting to let the music relax after just 2 bars. But we've marked 4-bar phrases, so this is one continuous idea. Keep the intensity up, and in the second bar, feel it gently pushing ahead to the next 2 bars. If I were a string player or a singer, I would get louder on that bass C as I'm holding it. But because I'm a pianist, I have to fake it, and I can do that by crescendoing the other hand and pushing the tempo just slightly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you can let it relax, aka get softer and a teeny bit slower in the 4th measure. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In the second phrase, or the second line, we go from mezzo piano to forte, so big crescendo here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Not only am I getting much louder, but I'm also pushing the tempo very, very subtly. But if you speed up too much or too obviously, you won't get the effect you want. And the forte section is heavy and serious, like you're plodding through thick mud. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. On the final chord, you can add a slight delay before it to give a finality to the piece. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. It's very slight. Coming up in core lesson 9, I'm going to give you 9 practice ideas so you can finally get rid of those pesky errors in your piece that seem to keep happening no matter how much you practice. Then in bonus lesson 9, we'll learn about compound time signatures, which is more fun than it sounds. So keep practicing and I'll see you very soon.